Black men have been angry and bitter at black women for so long, all right? And
No. That's a lie. There's a saying out there that's called social engineering. Women have been socially engineered to believe that men hate them.
Since the feminist movement.
We love y'all so much that we disappointed.
Very upset.
We don't hate y'all. We disappointed that you allow the system to finesse you. But you're supposed to be the smartest creature among all of us. And the system finessed you to accept it and deny us. Now all of y'all out there rich, houses, apartments, lofts, and they empty. Ain't no masculine voice in there at all roaming through them walls. You in them lofts and apartments by yourself because you accepted the system. So no, we're not angry. We don't hate you. We're disappointed that when we look our sisters in the face, we see that the system is more strong in your blood than love for us. And it's a shame. We want our women back. We want to love y'all and be caring for y'all. Give you that house on the hill you desire, that big vision you see. But the only way we can get it is if we do it together. Think about it.
Now that, you can find that clip on Boss, BOSSTIVI, World News. That's BOSSTIVIT, World News, on Instagram. Perfectly delivered message. He could have included a few other things, but he summed it up pretty good for all of you that still think men are out to get you. And you've basically fell for the bullshit that's been taught to you since the late 1950s. Probably going back to the 30s, but specifically since the late 1950s, real heavy in the 60s on until the 2000s. And today, great message from the brother. Pull him up, make sure you follow his channel. Right, we're going to get into this one kind of quick, but I do need to set the basis for what's behind the Harris-Biden campaign. I think all you know, they're closely connected to the Obamas. So here's something I wanted to point out to you back in, and this is from October 17, 2017. Even though it goes back to the previous administrations, Yahoo News, photo of drag queen reading to kids at Michelle Obama neighborhood library goes viral. Photo of drag queen reading to kids at Michelle Obama neighborhood library goes viral. So this is the image right here of the drag queen reading to children at the Obama's library. This is primarily what the Obama administration was known to push, was the LGBTQ, PRS, ZMNOP community. I mean, he skyrocketed everything that they pretty much were trying to get signed was done during Obama. Some of it was done during Bush, but most of it was done during Obama. Leaps and bounds under the Obama administration. I also want to show you another video just in case it doesn't hit home for some of you that still were thinking that they were primarily for the so-called black community. Black's not a nationality. So I want to show you something here to kind of give you an idea of what they're really about. Trying not to get a strike for that one, but that is a transgender throwing money at a little girl. The little girl's acting like she's stripping. And this is at a party to kind of show you what they are really about. Blow that up and pay close attention. So if you all think that, well, they're not all after the children, of course, right? I mean, you can find videos like this all over the net. And I want to show you something recently that popped up here. We're going to get into this. This is something that's become viral recently also about Michelle here. A comment that she recently made. You can kind of put the dialogue in its proper context if you want, but let's see what's stated here. Listen closely.
You are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. Would you care to share that journey of?
Well, I could get
Speaking to Marlon Wayans, Damon and Marlon Wayans share the power of family respect and raising kids with love. That's the title of the video on YouTube. You can pull it up. But you put the context in its proper place wherever you may. Let's listen to it again and let's see exactly what was stated here, because people are saying this is more proof. There's been other things that have been stated by Obama and Michelle. So let's listen once more and see what the conclusion. You draw the conclusion about the context of the words.
too much.
We'll listen to
But
it here
overall,
shortly.
but do you think
That's the gentleman speaking. Let's go a little further here. Listen closely.
Proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. Would you care to share that journey of?
Well, I could get.
Now, once again, is she referring to herself, or is she referring to Marlon Wayans? Who's she referring to? Because you can kind of goes both ways. But that's something that's been going viral lately. About everyone has questions about Michelle Obama. And there's been some things that have been said, some pictures that I've seen. I've seen her moving around several times, and she always seems to reach between her legs. I noticed that back, I believe, in 2012 is when I first started pointing out to people that something was odd about Michelle. Including a few of the other things when I seen her in some dresses and some other things. And you should have heard the names that I got called. But this today is going viral. So you can pull up all kinds of videos on Michelle Obama, transgender Michelle Obama being a man. The first guy that put the information out years ago, it didn't come from a white man. It came from a brother out of D.C. who worked in D.C. His name was E.T. Williams. And he was the one that I first heard say it back in 2000, and I want to say 2011. He's the one who first came out and said, E.T. Williams. I don't even know if he's still on YouTube or not, but he did have some channels, and I believed he had a visit from the Secret Service. He mentioned about years ago too. So maybe you can track that brother down, and he seemed to have a lot more information being in D.C. and knowing people that was around her, or maybe he was just lying. But either way it goes, he was the first I heard say it years ago. That's something on Michelle Obama. And if she's transgender, what does that say about Barack Obama? So we already know the family is a bearded family, which means that the children are not theirs. But these people are behind Kamala Harris and Biden. They're all running the same camp. In the case all of you missed this cover, Time Magazine, it says, of course, this is first name, I think it's Cox is the last name, but it's, you can always tell them too by their last names or by their first names and combinations. It's always some mockery in the name. Cox, C-O-X, is his last name, but this is a famous transgender in Hollywood among the many, but this is one of the ones who admit it. And it's on Time Magazine. It's the cover says SBGN, the transgender tipping point. And it says America's next civil rights frontier. America's next civil rights frontier. You can read the article in Time Magazine. It says the architects of the new black male say that now is the time to support her. But this is a him. They didn't support her. It's a him. The architects of the new black male says that now is the time to support her. Black is not a nationality, by the way. Just kind of showing you guys what is taking place in front of your faces. And for some reason, A lot of people that know are very, very quiet about the shit. They're not saying anything. Here's your boy girl Malia Obama, which is also a, yeah, do I need to say it? Yep. Seen her Adam's apple plenty of times. She covers it up a lot so you can't see it. But, once again, look at the length of the arms. She's got this. Look where his arm is and look where hers is. Women's arms don't come down here. Men's arms do. Men have longer arms. And of course, you can see her Adonis belt and other things, but she kind of hides it kind of well, except for when you see that Adam's apple poking out. But that's hers. Going back to that swirling agenda that goes way back also. Just want to point that out to you. Let me say something about Mr. Obama here also. It says here, you can get it all in here. It says, a Kenyan raised by a white mother in Hawaii urges black men to vote for an Indian woman raised in Canada. A Kenyan raised by a white mother in Hawaii urges black men to vote for an Indian woman raised in Canada. Just the hypocrisy of kind of what they were doing to people right in your faces. And once again, one of the tricks of the elite is they love to mock you. They will make you out to be the stupidest for following them, and they make fun of you. I wanted to show you something too with Miss Cox here, forget the first name. But the Adonis belt, once again, this is all male in here if you know what to look for. If you could see where the belly button was, you know it's an Adonis belt, which men have. You see the length of the arms. The legs are crossed, basically just emphasize on the curves. Probably got some type of girdle on or something. The shoulders are still broad. You still have the mandible here. And on a male, you could take the head and you could put it right here on the shoulders and it would fit. And they do surgery on the collarbones to make the shoulders slant. So some of the surgery procedures they're doing is brutal. But once again, they're altering the creation. They're changing the creation of the creator, basically. That's one of the things that they do to get the perception that they want, which is based on deception. And just wanted to show you all those images as we're going to move forward and conclude on what the elections exposed. Basically a lot of the transgender movement. It exposed the swirling agenda. Kamala Harris. It exposed that black is not a nationality. Some of the things that went right over your head. It exposed the corruption of one side. I'm not saying that the Republican side is not corrupted, because it is. There's corruption on both. But the Democratic side is in your face. It is blatant and it's in your face, and I don't know how you guys are ignoring it. It's kind of sickening that you ignore something so wicked and vile that's right in your faces. It was wicked and vile under George W. Bush. And now it's wicked and vile under Biden and the Obamas and the Harrises. So there it is in your face, the tipping point. America's next civil rights frontier. The architects of the new black male says that now is a time to support her, which is a him, which is confusion.
In Luciferianism, Lucifer is an androgynous.
Yeah. He's doing it with everybody.
So, what I talk about in my talk is the first goddesses were also androgynous: Inanna, Ishtar.
And they were actual real people?
Depends on if you believe in ancient aliens or not, or if you subscribe to Genesis 6, so it talks about, the Nephilim and the mixing of fallen angels and people to create these giants. So this is kind of what we would say would be like the first gods, the Anunnaki.
Well, first of all, this whole thing is happening right now. I don't know if it's happening more than ever. I don't know if we're seeing it because we can, but I do feel that's like this thing that is couched in love and acceptance is low-key Sodom and Gomorrah.
All right, we're going to deal with the stand-in for Barack Obama, because this ain't the real Obama any damn way. But this is his stand-in. Normally, Barack has some familiar Secret Service with him, and I don't see him around anywhere. And This don't look like him anyway. But here's Obama criticizing black men for not supporting Kamala Harris during the election. How arrogant. But let's check this out.
Have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
How do you know?
So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly.
Us directly.
And say that when you have a choice that is this clear,
This clear.
when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you,
Grew up with us. Knows us and went to college with us. She went to Howard, which is that is still an elite school, brother. She grew up with us. She knows us. East Indian food. Knows us. Let's go.
understands the struggles
Understand the struggle.
and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
Because she achieved the second highest office in the land. What did Kamala Harris do for the black community the 4 years she was vice president? What did she do? Black's not a nationality, but what did she do?
And is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities.
Like what?
From housing to making sure that
You got to think.
our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine.
You got to think.
And
You thinking?
making sure that
Yeah, you thinking,
we're
dog.
dealing with
You trying
prices
to
that are too high.
Trying to come up with shit.
Too high. And are committed to
prices was going up. Mr. Obama stand-in. Prices was going up. Every year. Whether it was just price gouging or inflation, the shit was going up. One of the two. It's going up every goddamn year.
is committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help here, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person.
Disregard.
And you're thinking about sitting out?
Disregard. Trump showed disregard. Trump was letting brothers out of prison that was locked up under your girl as a prosecutor in California to build her career. Letting them out. First time it passed a bill to free them and was doing it and signed it. And you didn't say a damn word. You didn't even say that's a good job. That's a good thing Trump did. You didn't say nothing. You said nothing. Disregard. Lowest black unemployment rate in the history of the country under Donald Trump. Until COVID hit. Let's go.
But, you know.
Yeah, everybody got to laugh.
And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses.
Excuses.
I've got a problem with that.
You got a problem with it. He got a problem with it.
Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly,
Men.
part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
He talking to heterosexual
Coming
men.
up with other alternatives. alternatives and other reasons for that.
He talking to heterosexual men. He ain't talking to gay men. He's talking to heterosexual black men. I'm talking to men directly. Who in the fuck you to talk to men and you bisexual? Larry Silverman? You talking to men? You talking to heterosexual men is who you talking to.
And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family,
Look at him. Point his finger.
at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude,
That kind of attitude.
I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
How?
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And
It was feminism that took the woman out of the home. We just hit that before, which led to the welfare system, the welfare state, and the government making deals with the women behind our backs to get the men out of the house. Had to be out of the house in order to get the check. Supported primarily by the Democratic Party. Welfare, Democratic Party, not Republicans. Welfare was pushed by the Democrats. Get the man up out the home. That's why they had to work so hard to raise the children, because they had to get the man out the house to get that check from the government, to replace one husband with another one, to replace the brother basically for the government as the husband under your parties. Let's go.
when we get in trouble, when the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody
Look at this brother right here.
who has a history
His face been the same the whole
of
time.
denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because
Because what?
that's what being a man is, putting women down.
Who's putting women down?
That's not acceptable.
Who's putting women down?
That's not. This shouldn't even be a question.
See. It's a lot that can be said there. First of all, who are you to feel like you could even approach black men that way? With your finger in the air. Waving your motherfucking finger. If you can't see this, let me zoom back a little bit so you can see the bottom here. I want to make sure you can see the bottom of the picture. This is Barack Obama. This is back in 1999. And it says, the American dream is to be Donald Trump. That was one of Barack Obama's statements back in 1991 when he was up and coming on the political scene. Yeah, here it is. Read it again. The American dream is to be Donald Trump. Barack Obama, 1991. So when the brother, when Obama came out to basically try and point his finger at black males for not supporting Kamala Harris, and then he came out again after the election and blamed black men. Black's not a nationality, by the way. That basically, to me, is grounds for some type of massive discrimination lawsuit. You're talking about somebody who was the president that came out to specifically criticize a group of people. He doesn't know who voted for who. He has no idea who voted for who. He has no idea about the numbers. He don't know. But the question is, would you ever come out and criticize Jewish men or Italian men or whoever it is? Would you ever do that? Would you ever do that? Would that ever be considered? Would you ever do that, Barack? When back in 1991 you said the American dream is to be Donald Trump. It's your boy Barack. That's what he said. But you want to come out and criticize the brothers because they didn't support your pawn, Kamala Harris. So you thought they didn't support your pawn, Kamala Harris. I want to deal with this image again here when we get back into feminism leading into the interracial agenda. So you have Feminism started by the CIA, as I mentioned, not even started by women, but started by men, and this is possibly transgender as well. And even a few other the well-known sisters that were involved in the movement also. I spoke to a few old Black Panthers. One is a member of the was a member of the BLA, and said clearly that Nikki Giovanni was binary before binary was even a thing. You don't know if that's a woman. Your girl Nikki Giovanni, who was a feminist also. Angela Davis, another feminist, broad shoulders, slim hips, square jawbone. You all think this is something new that's going on. You have masculine energy being forced on the most precious women in the world. And they're forcing the masculine energy on them. So masculine is not going to attract masculine. It's going to attract feminine. Masculine is going to push away masculine. We don't want that in women. No man wants a masculine woman. No real man wants a masculine type of woman. Female, they know that. This is the reason why the switch. So now let's get into what this has led to with relationships, and we're going to get more into the interracial agenda also.
Hey, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just looking for my camera.
It's right here.
Have you got the keys? I'm gonna put the bags in the trunk real quick.
Okay. Yeah, they are in here somewhere. It's just a matter of finding them.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Might take me a second. Hey,
Oh, you can't find those keys?
no, I can never find them.
Let's do this on the move.
Yeah.
Let's get the keys.
Yo,
Yo, man.
you going? The party was just getting started.
Just putting the bags in the car, man.
Would anyone like tea?
No, I'm good. We leaving, actually.
Really? Why? Something wrong?
Rose?
His dog got really sick, so he has to be at the vet first thing in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, how terrible.
Rose, the keys.
Looking.
Rose?
What is your purpose, Chris?
What?
In life, what is your purpose?
Right now, it's finding those keys. Yeah?
Fire. It's a reflection of our own mortality. We're born, we breathe, and we die.
Rose?
I'm looking.
Even the sun will die someday. But we are divine. We are the gods trapped in cocoons.
Rose.
I don't know where they are.
Rose? Rose! Rose, give me those keys! Rose, give Give me those keys. Rose, now! Now, the keys! Oh, be careful, bro.
What the fuck?
I didn't do anything.
What the fuck is going on?
Where are those keys, Rose?
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
Of a young, fervent
Listen, people.
Takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go ahead and take it out.
It's painful, right?
Huh?
Jesus.
Yeah, and this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy black women from Africa. Negroes have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic affection. And we want some of that.
We want some of that.
For $100.
Mitochondria.
For your egg.
Your eggs.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500. Whoever I bid, he's going to outbid me. $1,000 with the eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, you know.
Abortion is very valuable. Abortion is valuable. Umbilical cord is valuable.
It's so rich with stem cells. When we regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured. It's recycled. And it should go to waste. It's life for somebody, you know.
There's a lot of missing sisters out there. A lot of missing women. Did y'all catch that? Maybe I should try and play this for y'all again. Well, that has to do with the mitochondria of the melanated woman. They say black. Of course, black's not a nationality. These cells in the mitochondria and the eggs, it's in pretty much the majority of what you would call your autochthonous, aboriginal, indigenous people to the Americas and pretty much all over the earth plane. So they always want to say it's the black woman. That black's not a nationality. Henrietta Lacks was not called the black woman. Matter of fact, I forget the tribe, her tribal affiliation in the Americas, and the family's tribal affiliation. Once again, black is not a nationality. But I was just pointing out to you when we get into what's called the swirling agenda, we get into the interracial agenda, why it's being pushed, why you saw Kamala Harris being pushed forward to the forefront to be the forerunner of the presidential campaign when there was other people in the Democratic Party that had a lot more experience, was around a lot more, smarter, the whole nine, more credibility. She was pushed to the forefront with her white husband, white Jewish husband. And that was accepted, by the way. They accepted that. See, that's the new exception. That's the new, so to speak, that is the new model to be marketed, is the so-called urban or melanated looking woman with a white man. I'm not going to say that at one point it wasn't the other way around, because it was, but there was things that were happening that was contrary to what they suspected with the sperm of the male and the outcome of the child. I talked about consciousness earlier in melanin. It appears to be that the child, when it is with the so-called melanated man and other types of women, lighter skinned women, so you speak, you want to say white women, that the child that comes out still has a lot more consciousness than it does the other way around. That is with the melanated woman with the white man. We're going to get into the swirling agenda now, which is a heavy topic. Once again, this is not about hate. I don't hate anybody. All women are beautiful. I comprehend what nationality is, but it is obvious that there's agenda. And all you got to do is turn on the TV, watch a commercial, watch a movie. You're going to see melanated women being with so-called white men. That is what they're marketing today. And what I just showed you here has a whole lot to do with it. Tremendous amount. This says the truth about missing so-called black women, right? its life for mankind. Because there's a whole lot of sisters missing that's been involved in these relationships that y'all not hearing. Y'all not even hearing about it. Even in the sex world. So I'm going to be reading from a book now that's called, show it to you here. It's called Pawns in the Game. If you can see the title. Pawns in the Game. And it is by William Gary Carr. William Gary Carr, Pawns in the Game. So I'm going to read from page 106 in Pawns in the Game. And it says clearly here, I can state with assurance that the last generation of, it says white children, that the last generation of white children is now being born. Our control commissions will, in the interest of peace and wiping out interracial tensions, forbid the whites to mate with whites. The white women must cohabit with members of the dark races. The white men, this is the latter, listen, the white men with black women or the darker races of women. Thus, the white race will disappear. For mixing the dark with the white means the end of the white man. Now, of course, that's a status we know. And our most dangerous enemy will become only a memory. We shall embark upon the era of 10,000 years of peace and plenty. The Pax Judacia and our race will rule undisputed over the world. And it says, our superior intelligence will easily enable us to retain mastery over a world of dark people. Now, this is written, that's in reference to what you would call the Khazarians or the Khazars' plan is. So when they talk about pretty much causing the races to mix, and then of course wiping out the lighter skin, they feel like they would be able to rule over both, because it has to do with the mentality. But remember what the lighter is. The latter project program, which where we are now, is mixing the white man with the dark woman. That is the agenda that's mentioned in this book. And this book also dictated. It talks about the several world wars that they had planned to start, and they did do it. And it goes on to talk about some other things here too. But if you want to read more about this, you can pick up Pawns in the Game, book one. It's page 106, and the author is by William Guy Carr. So let's get into what we're gonna show some images here of to show you how prevalent the interracial thing is and how biased it is, and that what's amazing is they're only doing black and white. So it's not like you're going to see a lot of Jews, so to speak, mating with Arabs. And this is how you know that goes back to an experiment that was done back years ago. If you can see the picture, I wish I could have enlarged that. But it had to do with an experiment of, these are Freemasons around an indigenous woman, where they were doing experiments on her. And that had to do with also genes and the whole nine, and what we were just talking about, mitochondria and cells and what have you. Once again, we're going to go through this kind of quick. This is Alice Walker and her mate. You're going to start to see that it was a lot more prevalent than a lot of people really told you about when it came to these unions. As a matter of fact, you got to remember this. You have to remember something too, that when you talk about who outnumbers who, I think black women, so-called black women, not a nationality, outnumber melanated men. I think it is about 12 to 1 ratio. So you're gonna start to see in some of these images, man, it was a lot more prevalent than you think. So we're gonna get into some ads and some images also. right? Remember this movie? Now, I want to point out to you how biased it's become. This is from the movie Scandal, TV series. Now, this was adored and watched by a lot of sisters worldwide. They had meetings around the series, and they had chats on Facebook around the series. And of course, it got all kind of awards and everything else. And of course, she was cheating on, well, she had an affair with a married man. He was a politician, very powerful man. Emmy Award-winning show. Now, I would ask, have you ever seen any Emmy Award-winning show where you have a melanated man with a white woman in the situation and received awards? But this received awards. This also plays into what I showed you earlier about feminism and what it has done by rejecting or forcing away the masculine. And of course, his character is powerful, but he's not masculine. He's powerful, but he's not really masculine. He was kind of a little soft there. But let's continue on with some more images of some things here for you, and I'm going to try and move quick.